Hey, how's it going guys? Welcome back to another video. So CD Projekt Red has just released the pre-orders for Cyberpunk 2077 Deluxe Edition. And this edition comes with a lot of interesting things, especially when you're getting the physical version for the game, which will of course include an exclusive Night City map cover, temporary tattoos for all the Night City varied colorful gangs, a cardboard slipcase featuring Night City's graffiti with some really cool looking cyberpunk themed slice cut design, which will look really cool if you want to add them to your physical collections. You'll also be getting a poster of Johnny Silverhand's concert and also 4 postcards, each postcard showing a vehicle from the Night City's diverse and unique lifestyles, and finally the disc for the base game Cyberpunk 2077. Now, for those of you who have been waiting to pre-order Cyberpunk, I would recommend you guys to wait at least for a few months, because at first CD Projekt Red only released the standard edition and the collector's edition, but as we slowly move closer to the release dates, it seems like CD Projekt Red will be releasing newer versions for the game, just like they've done with the new Deluxe Edition. Now, if you're someone that cares about having a physical copy of the game and also have all the add-on collectible goodies for your collections, then I would totally recommend you guys to go wait for a few more months before you guys start pre-ordering your game. The reason why I'm saying this is because the rumor is that we might still be getting more editions for the game as we move closer to the launch, but if you already pre-ordered the standard edition and you thought that the collector's edition was too much to pay for, but you like the new Deluxe Edition, then you can simply cancel your standard edition's pre-order and get the Deluxe Edition, or see if you have an option to upgrade to Deluxe Edition from standard from wherever you pre-ordered your game. All you have to do is contact the sellers. Now, of course, CDPR has confirmed that none of these versions will have any changes in game from standard to the highest edition, whichever it may be. Everyone will be getting the same in-game content, and the only changes are going to be the collectible, physical or digital items that you will be getting outside the game. Now, with the Deluxe Edition being added to the pre-orders, CD Projekt Red has shown off the Deluxe Edition case cover, which shows the map of Night City. Now, we have never got to see the actual in-game map on how big or small it really is, but this map shown on the cover of the game is not the actual full landscape of Night City. Now, ever since CD Projekt Red showed off this cover of map on their Deluxe Edition, the Reddit and Twitter community has been going crazy over how small the map is compared to The Witcher 3 or even Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, there is one thing that you guys need to keep in mind. Now, this is really crucial to know if you're worried about the map size in Cyberpunk 2077. Now, The Witcher 3's map was insanely large compared to any other open world games, but do not expect the same size of what The Witcher 3 had, and don't even compare it with the world of Cyberpunk. Now, the image shown on the box cover is just 50% of the whole map. The map shown here is from the main city district of Night City. Now, this image does not contain the Pacifica region, or at least the whole district of Pacifica. So if you're wondering this is still a small map compared to other open world games, then let me show you guys an image of the district that is shown in the Deluxe Edition cover. Now, this is how much detailed the Night City will look like, and all those buildings you see are all designed uniquely, and you will not be seeing any copy-pasted building props around the map like we have seen in Witcher 3, because making really huge map and also making every content inside it look really unique is almost or nearly impossible for the developers to work on. But since the map of Cyberpunk is not very largely designed, so every place in the world you visit will have its own unique vibes from each buildings, the cultures and the lightings, and even the NPCs from each districts are going to behave and act differently from each other. Now, for example, the NPCs in the city district of the Night City are more pop cultured, and the city looks colorful and more futuristic, and the Pacifica side of the city is going to be involved with more crime, and the people in there are mostly going to be gang members, and it's not as much colorful. It has like more dark theme added to it. And you also have the market side, which is in Night City, which is one of the most beautiful looking part lot in Night City, and the NPC population in one market is almost as high as the freakers in Days Gone. And the best part of all is that all these NPCs have unique animations. They all have their own lives, and each and every one of them actually have different jobs, and all of these NPCs can be interacted with, and there's always some or other dynamic things happening all around you. Like in one of these demos CD Projekt Red showed off in the community event, there was an NPC who was trying to sell V some drugs, and some even ask you for help. You will also see NPCs fighting with each other and have some really funny conversations. Like the other guy had slept with his wife, and then this guy goes out and tries to beat him up, and there's like really funny conversations going on all around the world. And the most interesting part of all, which really caught the eyes of people, is that you as a player, we and also the NPCs can now order and eat foods at restaurants, and the cooks inside the restaurant will actually cook the food just like you do in real life. So they take their time and they prepare the dish for you, so you'll have to wait in the restaurant until your food is being prepared. And you can also see all these NPCs ordering different foods, and they stay there, they eat there, some even take away the food, and it's really interesting to see all of these dynamic things happening all around the world. Everything in the world really feels almost like you are living in a real virtual life filled with infinite amount of things to explore and see. And after watching the Cyberpunk 2077's open world design, I'm pretty sure that you guys are gonna feel like Grand Theft Auto 5 or any other current generation open world games is just a joke. So if you are worried about the map or how the game is going to be like, then do not worry about it, because as far as all the information goes, I've managed to collect a few from my friends in the Cyberpunk community who have got to see the live gameplay of Cyberpunk 2077, and also from interviewing the developers at CD Projekt Red. It is now safe to say that Cyberpunk 2077 will be a world like you have never seen before in any other open world games, and by this I mean in a really good way. Now, so far from all the information I've received from the guys that got to see the exclusive live gameplay demo, is that the city and the world feels really compacted, and you will not be able to find any part of the map that is left out with emptiness, like an open field with nothing really interesting to look at, and every part of the map will be filled with some or the other really interesting things to see, and most of them will be player interactable content. Now, within the whole map, you will have a lot of water presence is what I've heard, like lakes and open seas, but they haven't really shown us if we are going to be traveling through the water or not. And long before CD Projekt Red said that you will not be able to drive boats, but they've also confirmed that there's going to be boats present in the game. But you gotta remember that that was an early build of the game, like really old build of the game, and things could have changed a lot ever since, and maybe now we will be able to drive boats, and who knows, since it's future, we might even have some underwater cars that we can just take a deep dive into. And one big question is if we can swim in the game or not, because swimming will indeed open up a lot of side quest and main quest opportunities in the game, where you will have a lot of quests that is related to the underwater world, and there of course will be a vast majority of open world exploration that we can do, not just on the land but also on the water. And as far as what I've heard is that you will get to see a lot of futuristic cars in the game, from scraps to really cool looking cars, and there'll also be a ton of flying cars in the sky. But CD Projekt Red has now confirmed that you will not be able to drive flying cars in the game, which is really annoying, to be honest. Being in the future and not being able to fly a car is indeed a huge bummer. Now, one big question I want to ask you guys is that, do you guys like the smaller map in the game? Especially now that we have so much content filled in with the smaller map, or would you guys prefer a larger map like Witcher 3? Even though Witcher 3 is really interesting, it has a lot of side quests and a lot of things inside the map, but still it is not even close to what Cyberpunk 2077 has now achieved with a smaller map design, and the game feels like much more complex, and there's a lot of stuff in the map itself that a player can interact with multiple NPCs. And as far as what I've heard, you can almost enter any building in the world, like at least 90% of the building, and each building has multiple floors. You can either explore them using the lift or take the staircase, and there's a lot of things that you can see in just one building. So the open world in Cyberpunk is not just about you exploring the world, but each and every building in the world, it's going to have its own open world environment, where for example there's going to be big malls in in the game where you can now enter the mall, and the mall is going to be filled with many shops and many things to look at. There's going to be restaurants, there's going to be entertainment stores, some outfit shops, and there's going to be so much things in just one small building. So imagine a world compacted with multiple buildings that you can explore. So the world is not just about the environment, the world is also about each and every building that is present in Cyberpunk 2077. Now, of course, I always keep my subscribers updated on everything regarding Cyberpunk 2077, and I always seem to gather some really interesting news about the game every single day. So if you're interested in Cyberpunk 2077, then this channel will be covering everything you need in Cyberpunk, from gameplays, news, informations, leaks, and more, which will be available first on YouTube right here on this channel. So if you're interested in those videos, consider subscribing and turning on the notifications of my channel so that YouTube can let you guys know when I upload any new information on Cyberpunk 2077. And I also cover many other games like Assassin's Creed Kingdom or Ragnarok, whichever Ubisoft is going to name their upcoming title for Assassin's Creed series. And I'm also covering The Last of Us Part 2. So if any of this is your jam, then make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button. With that being said, if you guys did enjoy this video, then leaving a like on the video would be really appreciated. With that being said, I'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. Until then, take care, fams, and goodbye.